Good morning. And good morning. We are back on our yoga mat. Hope you all enjoyed the week off. We still have probably a minute or so before we get going, so a nice amount of time to roll out your mat, grab anything you may want to incorporate into your practice, and settle in. As always, you can use this time for gentle movement. You can just sit quietly, kind of starting to center. Probably another minute or so. Coming onto our mat, just making our space. We are going to begin in a child's pose today, or kind of a actually seated posture and then heading into child's pose. So if you wanted to head that way, you could. And I'll start making my way there. So somewhere near the back third of your mat, you could take a kneeling posture. That'll help us head right into that child's pose. But if the kneeling posture isn't serving you, you can take a nice seated posture, any type that works. We'll find our spot, settle in, drop the gaze, maybe 3 to 4 feet in front of you on the mat. Close the eyes here as well. Take a moment here at the top of the practice to check in. We'll scan from the sole of the feet up through the body, all the way to the crown of the head, just to see how you're feeling this morning. No judgment, just awareness, so you can help honor your body as you move through the practice. As we're scanning, let's also deepen the breath. Take nice full inhales and exhales through the nose. Allow the ribs to expand and contract. The breath filling the body and then helping you create space. See if you can balance out the breath, matching the inhale to the exhale. We'll try and keep that balanced breath throughout the practice. We flutter the eyes open. If you're in that seated posture, go ahead and come to that kneeling one as we all lower down the belly, coming into child's pose. Toes near one another, knees can be near one another, they can be wide to the edges of the mat. Arms are stretched overhead, hips settling toward the heels. Feel that nice activation through the shoulders, down through side body. Take one more breath here. Then walk the hands to the right as you settle back in, creating a lovely stretch through the left side of the body. Arms do not have to be perfectly straight here. Keep the hips settled. On an exhale, move back through center and over to the left. The belly rests, the hips settle, big stretch from hip to fingertip. Soften the shoulders. And on an exhale, we'll bring the hands back to center. Inhale up, come to tabletop, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Spread the fingers wide, give yourself a nice space. On an inhale, we'll lower the belly as we gently lift the gaze. Exhale as you round, arch the back, really press the earth away. Inhale, lower. Exhale, arch. And continue these at your own breath pace for a few rounds. You can hold where needed or invite in other little movements, little hips side to side. We'll take one more full round before meeting back at our neutral spine. We'll take the left hand forward just about a handprint, similar to our threaded needle, and we're going to do a similar motion, but instead of laying down on that shoulder, we're just going to create a little movement. So the right hand lifts up, comes out to that T, and then weaves behind, but we're not settling down. So just a little rotation, opening, and weaving. That hand's not touching the ground, the right hand's just flowing. Little movement through the spine and the torso. Last one. And settle that right hand down. So it's extended slightly, creating a little extra space for us. That left hand lifts up, reaches out, and then weaves behind. Keep it flowing. Left hand not touching the mat. Move at your own pace here. You can open up as much or as little as you like. We're still warming up the body. And last one. Bring the left hand to the mat. And then gently lower ourselves down to the belly, chin to mat, the tops of the feet are down. A little space between the feet as we bring the hands under the shoulders. Elbows are tucked into the body. Take a moment here. Feel the support of the mat. On an inhale, we'll lift chin and collarbone. Our baby cobra. Long spine, draw the shoulders away from the ears. Maybe you drum out the fingers a bit here. A nice reminder to really use the back muscles for this lift. And lower. Take a breath. Inhale up, baby cobra. The feet stay connected to the mat. The hips are pressing down. And on an exhale, release. We'll keep the chin in the mat as we bend the right knee. Just lifting that foot up to about 90. And lower. Left knee bends, we bring that leg up to about a 90. You could rotate the ankle a little bit here if you like. Lower the left. Bend at the right knee. We're not lifting that leg off the ground. Just the shin and the calf are up. Little rotation through that ankle again if you like. Lower it. And bend at the left knee. Lower. Both feet are connected to the mat as we inhale up, chin, collarbone, and maybe a rib or two. Bending our cobra. The gaze is forward, more weight in the hands here to help support us. Find a little ease in the low back and the glutes. And lower. Take a breath. And then inhale as we lift. Try to keep some space between the shoulders and the ears. And lower. Nice work. We'll bring the arms down alongside body. We'll bend the right knee. Let that heel drop toward the glutes. Reach back if you can. Find a hold on the right foot as we gently draw it in. Deepening that stretch through the thigh. Gently release. And bring the right foot back to the mat. We'll bend to the left. You can let gravity do the work here for you, or if you like, reach back with the left hand. Find a hold of that foot and gently draw it in toward the body. Checking in with the left hip, the left thigh. Only go as far as your body wants. Mindful of each movement this morning. On an exhale, gently release. Left foot returns to the mat. We'll place the hands just off of the mat, slightly in front of the shoulders. Fingers are tented. Nice bend at those elbows as we press up. Maybe the arms straighten, maybe they don't. Big stretch through the front midline and lower down. Bring the hands in. Press back hips to heels. Child's pose. Nice counter posture for all of that back work we just did. Hips settling. Arms can be stretched overhead, or you could wrap them down alongside body for a breath. We'll inhale up, returning to our tabletop. Our solid base. We'll lift the right foot, arch the back as we bring it forward. Coming into low lunge, make any little modifications you need to here. We want to stack that right knee over the ankle, maybe even a little behind it. Help protect the joint a bit as we sit the hips low. Awareness on the left hip. Sometimes as we move through the shapes, especially if it's things we've become familiar with, the mind may want to wander away. And if that happens, just gently bring it back. Invite it to be part of the practice with you. To stay present. We'll shift the hips, rotate on the right heel as we come into a hamstring stretch. Step back only as far as your body wants to go. That right leg does not have to be perfectly straight. Hands are a nice support to help us stay balanced. We'll rotate back forward. Plant the right foot back down. Find a foundation through the legs as you lift up. Maybe hands come to the right thigh. Maybe they're down alongside body, palms open. Gaze is forward. Bring the hands back to the mat. Right hand comes inside the right foot. We gently swing that leg back around and then return to our tabletop. Lie the left leg just for a moment. Scoop the belly with control. Bring that foot forward. Low lunge on the opposite side. Again, find that nice spot for the left leg. Hips are sitting low, knees protected. Once you've settled in, lengthen the spine. Allow the gaze to follow. Steady breath. See if you can use the exhale. Help you find a little more release and melt a little farther into the shape. And then shift the hips. Rotate on the left heel. Hamstring stretch for the opposite side. Each side will be a little different. So as you settle in, scan from heel to hip. Continue to breathe. We'll rotate forward. Settle the left foot back on the mat. Find that foundation, core is engaged as we lift up. Long spine. feeling steady and stable. With control, we'll return the hands to the mat. This time, instead of swinging the leg back, we'll curl the right toes, lift off of that knee, then step back. So we're in our high plank just for a moment. Fingers are spread wide, arms are strong. We'll shift the hips up and back. Down dog. Make any little adjustments you need to find your shape. We can pedal out the feet here, a little extra stretch through the legs. You could shift the hips a bit if you like. That can help get into the side body. And settle in. We'll start to walk the feet toward the hands, coming about halfway up the mat, then meeting in our forward fold. You can keep a little bend at the knees if needed. Hands can reach toward the earth, or you could grab opposite elbows to hang in ragdoll. If you're holding elbows, go ahead and release. We'll take a generous bend at the knees, belly to thighs, as we find that foundation, and then rise up into a nice Tadasana, head over heart. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Nice big inhale as we reach. Exhale, hands to heart. Nice big inhale as we reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. We'll add a little heel lift this time. So as we inhale up, we lift the heels, reach tall, and as we bring hands to heart, we lower them down. Inhale, heel lift, reach tall. Exhale, heel settle, hands to heart. Again, nice big lift. Heels rise. Exhale as we lower with control. Last time, we'll inhale up. Exhale to lower. Release the hands. We'll heel toe the feet together. Toes together, heels together. Arms are down at our side. And then we'll gently sit back. Arms reaching forward as we come into a chair pose. Doesn't have to be super deep. Let the legs press into one another to help give you strength. A little tuck of the tailbone. The arms are forward, holding that big beach ball in front of us. We'll add in a little movement here. Swing the right arm down and back. You might turn a little bit there. And then we'll bring it forward. Left arm goes down, just a little half moon shape, and back. That's kind of what we're drawing with the arm. And then bring it forward. Legs are strong. We'll bring the right arm down and back. Bring it forward. Left arm down and back. Bring it forward. We'll let the hands go to the feet as the hips lift up. Maybe shake the head a little, yes and no here. Plant the hands, step the feet back. Find your high plank. Just here for a moment. You can lower to the knees if you like. With control, we'll lower through chaturanga to the belly. Uncurl the toes and inhale up to your cobra. That can be baby cobra. You can go all the way to up dog if you like. We'll curl the toes as we release and shift to down dog. Lift the right leg. With control, bring it forward. Plant the right knee behind the right wrist. As we come into pigeon, left leg is straight back out of that hip. Nice and centered through the body. Sometimes as we come into our pigeon, we may want to fall off to the side a bit. Try to stay centered. You can be lifted here. Come down onto forearms. Whatever is serving you this morning. Big stretch through the right hip. Each exhale, helping you dive a little deeper. Find a little more release. Two more breaths here. If you're lowered, go ahead and lift up. Plant the hands back on the mat. We'll curl the left toes as we lift that knee off and then shift the hips back to down dog. Arms are strong. We'll pause here for a moment, checking in with the body. Root into the right toes as you lift the left. Bring that knee forward. Plant it behind the wrist as you lower the hips and settle in. Right leg is long. Centered and strong. If you're staying lifted, let the gaze be forward, the spine be long. If you're lowering down, do so with control. The gaze will follow, settling on the mat. Wherever you're at, as you settle in, turn the awareness to the hip. That connection out through the body. Release any tension as you find it. Maybe that's softening through the feet, settling the hips a bit more. Pigeon is one of our longer holds. We'll take one more breath here. If you are lowered down, start to lift up. Plant the hands, curl the right toes as you lift that knee. And then shift the hips back, our down dog. We'll lower the knees, walk the hands toward them, and gently find whatever seated posture serves you today. In this moment, that could be kneeling, it could be legs tucked, legs stacked, legs out. Just a comfortable place where you can settle in. Drop the gaze or close the eyes. As we round out our practice, similar to how we started it today, with a little check-in. Notice what you've cultivated through the practice, the strength, the space. We'll bring hands together at heart center to seal in our practice as we flutter the eyes open. I encourage you to take kind thoughts, kind words, and those kind intentions with you from now until we meet again. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for our yoga practice this week. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead, and I look forward to seeing you back on the mat next Tuesday. Bye, everyone.